All right, guys. We are back in Florida. Feeling a little under the weather, but we're here to rip some best ball. All right, y'all. As I said, I am back in Florida. Happy to be here. Hoping to feel better soon. What's up, sacrilegious GM? For those who don't know me, in case you're just stumbling upon this channel, my name is Liam Murphy. I've won 3 best ball tournaments for over $1.3 million in earnings. And today we're here to rip some big boards. Little news and notes, I guess I should say, is going to be doing the stream today. Going to be doing a stream with Davis Maddock tomorrow at 1 to talk through rookies. Going to be doing a stream with Pat Carrain, the $2 million man, on Thursday at 1 p.m. as well to talk through rookies, catch up with both of them. You know, it's been a while since I've talked to Davis and Pat. So looking forward to that. And before I jump right into the stream today, just wanted to summarize 2 quick tweets I made. One is, hey, we're at the beginning of draft season here. It is, I guess I should do this one first. I made a tweet earlier today, mere moments ago, actually. And it's just about how filled the big board contest is. It's about 39% filled, and it's a 113,000 person contest. It opened on February 10th. It's February 28th today. It pays $200K to first and closes on 4/27, the last day of the draft. And then, ask the question, and I had reached out to Underdog and hoped they were going to do it this year, is next year the first year we're going to see Underdog's pre-draft NFL contest be 1 mil to first. For those who don't know, they have a pre-draft contest, usually called the big board, the little board, whatever. And then Best Ball Mania is after the draft is done up until September when the contest starts. Best Ball Mania 2, which I won for $1,001, only had 155,500 entrants, although that price point was $25 versus $10. So what do you guys think about that? Do you think next year we get 1 mil to first pre-draft? That would be fucking awesome. And then next is just a brief thread I made earlier about contest selection. We're going to have a lot of large field GPPs, and this thread was made February 8th, if you want to check out my Twitter at ChessLiam. And it was just about, choosing contests, because I know last year I noticed in like Pete's Discord and on Twitter, some people were disappointed that they were not in any finals for best ball or winning significant money. And it's just kind of a reality check on that if you're only playing large field GPPs, so Best Ball Mania, the puppies, the big boards, what have you, you are not going to make money on average. If you're a top player, even, you will not make money every year. I don't believe I made money on my large field GPPs last year. I did win 2 best ball contests for $300K, but I believe I lost money on Best Ball Mania 3. I probably lost money on the DK $5. That's just the nature of these contests, that unless you get a team to the finals and that team does well there, you're not making money that year. It just, the math just doesn't play out that way. So, it talks through basically, like, let's say you have $500 to invest in the best ball and your goal is to make some money. Now, making money is not the only goal in best ball. You can also be in it for entertainment. You could be in it. You could want to mitigate your risk. So if you do $500 of $5 teams, your chance of getting something back is very high. However, if you did $500 into, say, 2 big dog teams that Underdog does for $250, your risk of ruin or getting $0 back is high. but your chance of winning $5,000 or more is also way higher. So something to think through. You can check out this thread on Twitter if you would like, but just want to check expectations of people. I know people we're excited for these drafts and we want to blast off, but just don't expect that you can, and Eagles or James Burkamby, he kind of pushed back because look, the way that Eagles likes to do best ball is not what I think is best for everyone. He likes to do like thousands upon thousands of drafts. His idea is just to get in max volume and, hope it works out. I don't think that's realistic for a lot of people, both with the time that requires, is what I said, and just mathematically. Anyways, enough about that. You can check that on Twitter. We need 6 more for this big board. 200K to first. No, he's the target audience for that thread, and also I don't understand why it triggered him so heavily. Look, if you disagree with me, disagree with me. That's okay. I'm not trying to sway people into the high stakes contest. To be honest with you, what I think is best for my ROI is that a lot of the people doing the puppies, doing best ball manias, do not fire at the high stakes stuff. I think that people who are doing these puppies, grinding and shit like that, I think they're pretty plugged in people. So my ROI will go down if a bunch of people shot take. And instead of doing, 50 puppies, they do one big board each. Well, now I have to compete with a bunch of different sharp people who are shot taking. That's not good for me making money, period. Right. And I don't make enough money on YouTube or really any money on YouTube yet to care about that. Like I make all my money through gambling and primarily best ball. So that's not good for my money, but it's what I believe is helpful for people. So, if you are in these discords, if you're in whatever, the Badge Bros, if you're in the Best Ball channel with Pete, Spike Week, any of things like that, if you're grinding like the underdog content, you're probably a plugged in sharp person who I don't want in those high stakes shit. But if you want to make some money, you're going to have bad years on average. Happy to hear that, Nez. Yeah, shout out Nez. He's a grinder in the Badge Bros. I was thinking about reaching out to the Badge Bros about doing baseball, having some of the baseball fiends on. But, I only really know fantasy football. And once Underdog releases a 200K to first contest, and I don't like baseball at all, it was easy for me. So we pulled the 107. Thank you for letting me know, guys, where you're at. It is legally required by best ball law. All right, 107. Let's fire a Diggs. We haven't gotten a Diggs yet. I've not been grinding these too heavy. It is 43% filled. It would be shocking to me if it does not fill before the NFL draft, but they'll probably come out with another contest similar size. It really depends when it fills. They got over 2 months until this contest fills up. Great question. Guys, ask me any questions you would like. DC Fantasy asks, if you had 3 to 5K to shot take, what contest would you go for? I'm 6, by the way. Thank you for your honesty. Well, I mean, I think this again depends on what you're looking for. I think a big part of best ball is entertainment. So if you play DFS in any capacity, or if really you just like watch the NFL every weekend, I would definitely want some teams in Best Ball Mania 4, the DK Millie, anything like that, just for sweat equity, right? There's nothing quite like on a Sunday checking in on your best ball teams and dreaming. There's some people who are very healthy about it. They don't look at their best ball teams at all. God bless you. I'm not that way. I look at my best ball teams throughout the year. And, part of the reason we do this is the fucking dream. And some of us are going to land on those dreams. So I would definitely have some in Best Ball Mania 4, the DK $5, the Drafters, whatever they release. I would have some in the large field GPPs. And then I would take a look at what structures I like best. For example, I personally do not like how Underdog does their high stakes compared to, all right, you don't got to twist my arm. We'll do a Josh Allen, Steph Diggs start here. This is something I would do last year too, by the way, in large field GPPs, especially on a site like DraftKings where quarterbacks go early, where I have the ego to say, fuck it, I can outdraft you in the later rounds. I don't care if you're getting a first and second round value. I can hit on the later rounds. But anyways, back to the question. I would take a look at the structures. I personally like, I won DK's 555 for 250K. That's my favorite structure out there. And I won DK's $2,000 contest. That's only 72 people. I didn't like that structure as much, but it's max 2 entrants at 72 people. Why not? And so I like the 555, and I think it's more favorable to someone who's shot taking than, say, Underdog's big dog $250, which I think is less favorable, even though you're going to get money back more. For those who don't know, the big dog on Underdog, rather than doing like the standard 2 out of 12 advance and then like harsh advance rates, which I think is friendlier to someone shot taking, because now it's like, hey, if you get a team to the finals, you're fucking live. Like if you got a team to the finals in the 555, it was 11 teams fighting for 250K. Boom. Anyone's in it. If you made a team to the big dog finals, the $250 contest on Underdog, and I've reached out hoping that they will change this. You had to face 64 teams for 100K, and if you got last, you got 1K. So in that contest, you're much more likely to run into someone like Peter Jennings, or me if I maxed. And you may think, well, hey, I'm going to get a team to the finals more. That's true. No debate here. However, if Peter Jennings has 15 to 20 teams in the finals, that's kind of a buzzkill where it's like, now you got to beat one of his 20 teams. So I think it's more favorable to the maxers. Real quick here, let's focus in. Let's grab Ramondre. Ramondre is a guy I had like 2 years ago. I had like, I don't know, 60% Ramondre or something. One of my highest drafted running backs in BBM2. But anyways, back to what I was saying. I think it's more favorable to the multi-drafters in the really lax advance rate contest like the big dog was last year, just because it's easier to get a team to the final, get a lot of teams to the finals, where it's like, that's kind of hard for someone who's shot taking 1 or 2 to compete with that, in my opinion. So I would do some of the DK 555 or whatever they release. They change their shit every year. And then, I would just take a look at the other sites. I would do someone Underdog, no doubt. Underdog had some good 1Ks. Underdog also came out with their high stakes stuff way late last year, where personally I'd already invested a lot of money in best ball, and they just like came out like, whereas DK released their stuff in May, Underdog released their stuff in like August. And I was like, I didn't get it at all. All right. Just to some other questions here. Paul asked, what are some teams that would make Bijan? Help me out with that, guys. Is it Bijan smash this year? That's a good cue. My general philosophy with running backs is that we care way less about Christian Watson's pretty easy for me here. Like a lot of players in this range, I like TJ. I like Pittman could get a big QB upgrade, but Watson just is a star to me. Anyway, and especially for half point PPR. Anyways, running back's a position where I care way less about. Whereas like wide receiver, I want to be drafting good quarterbacks, wide receivers. Running back is not like that. Like we want the running backs with like the boomer coaches. So like Pete Carroll's running back is almost always like a lock to be a good fantasy guy, right? Things like that. So thinking through like Breece Hall, I knew Brees Hall is a guy I was real heavy on, especially in the high stakes streets, because A, he was cheap. B, I thought it was very unlikely that it was going to be the Zach Wilson show, and that if this team was going to compete, it was through Brees Hall. That was right until Brees Hall tore his ACL. So I've seen some questions about, or some rumorings about Bijan to the Bills, which I'm not a fan of. Like, the Bills really need to invest in their O-line, but I don't think a landing spot like that is necessarily that great, because now you got Josh and him competing for red zone touches. It would be fun, no doubt about that, especially if he's like a heavy piece in the pass game. But I think we want more a team like the Bears. The Bears like led the league in run pass last year. We want, even like the Chiefs is a little bit better than the Bills, because Josh Josh is still going to run even if we get Bijan. If the Lions moved on from Swift, their O line is just like road paving. Team like the Raiders, if they didn't sign Josh Jacobs, I could see, like, we just saw them feed Josh Jacobs. So if that is now Bijan, that's going to be a smash landing spot. So teams like that, in my opinion. Maybe Dallas, if they just like don't keep Pollard fed. What's going on, Tyler? Like, the Patriots would be a great spot. It would be weird with Ramondre and him there, and I don't think they would do that. But those are the types of teams that's just like wheels up. The Giants, if the Giants are just like, fuck it, we're going with him. Miami would have been ideal. I don't know. That's just like, that's so many competing elite pieces though. Waddle, Tyreek, and him. All right. So we're in a spot where I was trying to familiarize myself with the ADPs here. Pick 55. We could go a lot of different ways here, but we're going to grab Jahmyr Gibbs, because from what little I know about the rookies to date, he's like Brees Hall type prospect, which, you have a lot of name value here with Dalvin, Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon, but a lot of these guys could fall on their face. Guys, please do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. Come on now. Really trying to get to 5K subscribers this summer or year, whatever. So do me a favor, hit a like, do a subscribe button. We're going to subscribers only chat from now on. So anyone tuning in late, doing streams every day this week except for Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Got my first guest coming on the channel with Davis and Pat to talk some rookies. Friday, I'm flying out to Vegas, as long as I'm 100p by then. And gonna go play the Win Millions. Hopefully, bink a poker tournament. Tune up before the summer. Yeah, Chris says, I think Jahmyr is a similar level to Brees, but different players. Yeah, that's probably true. I think Gibbs is a little bit more of a pass catcher. And it's okay if he's kind of like a slower prospect with me having Ramondre. Pretty flexible here. The rookie lasts. Spot where you could do a lot of things. All right, we'll grab Kyle Pitts here. Obviously, he's injured. Obviously, Drake London's a lot of comp. If Ritter is the guy there, then I think London and Pitts are going to keep falling. However, Falcons are in contention to trade up for Bryce Young, or I think the Lions are a dark horse to go for Bryce Young. If Bryce Young is like legit, and that would mean that Goff is going to be out there on a team, but Obviously, if the Falcons are what we saw last year, tough news for the pass catchers. But, he's still a tight end. He's still a freak athlete, and he's cheap now. Yeah, no, I saw Mariota got cut. There are a lot of transactions today, and we're going to see a lot more. The Bills, uh, Leslie Frazier, down goes Frazier. The Bills defensive coordinator is taking a year off, AKA, I mean, tale of two swords with Leslie Frazier, where, like elite regular season guy, and then has not had good game plans, or maybe the players just didn't execute for him. Now, last year, a lot of injuries for the Bills, but just didn't get it done in the playoffs. And I don't think we should be assessing a coach off of a handful of games in the playoffs. That being said, it's usually when you're playing the better teams. Man, it just feels deeper this year. Anyone else feel that way? Like where there's like more high quality fantasy assets like late in the draft. Like a lot of names to be excited to be selecting at this point. Still, at like many positions. All right, don't twist my arm. We'll do the Bills double stack with Gabe Davis. Brandon Beane had his press conference today. He claimed Gabe Davis's ankle really slowed him down. Gabe Davis was looking like a beast in the offseason, so even if not, I think it's a little bit more likely the Bills go after a slot type guy. Although Shakir looked good. I don't know why the Bills did not feature Shakir more. That's a bit of a black eye on them that they've not used their rookies quite as much. And so we're rocking a 1-2-3-1 right now. Very balanced and flexible. I don't know what's ideal for Watson. I think Jordan Love or Rodgers is fine for him. Them not running the ball so fucking much would be good. But feel good here. With Pitts, almost certainly going 3 tight ends. Not a tight end I'm comfortable going 2 with. Because, at this stage, Pitts could just be a touchdown or bust guy still. And so 3, especially with 20 rounds, 3 minimum tight ends, usually good protocol. And then I probably have enough strength at running back to be a little bit more flexible there, filled in with some bodies. With Josh Allen, I can go 1 quarterback, I can go 2. Yeah, it might feel less deep after the draft and combine. I agree. I'm excited, guys. I love the draft, one of the best days of the year. Let me just try to something I said earlier in the offseason is like I would like the Bills to trade for Chris Godwin. I saw Hayden Winks pointing out that there's going to be a lot of trades. It's going to be interesting if the teams elect to trade or what. Interesting spot in the draft. Let's just alpha stack it with James Cook. I think it's hard to say what they're going to do with him. And this is when, I wish I followed, players' Instagrams or some shit. Because if James Cook puts on 10, 15 pounds, I mean, the guy was good when he got the ball. He just didn't get used that much. Singletary's a free agent. So, James Conner versus James Cook, I think in a large portion of simulations, James Conner crushes James Cook. James Conner probably has all of, the 250-point fantasy seasons in him. But with the stack, who can resist an alpha stack of the Bills? Zay Flowers, another name I considered. He's kind of small, though, which not the best profile for half-point PPR. He's a guy who could go to the Bills, too. Yeah, LaMichael, but here's the thing, man, is just hard to take anyone's word here. LaMichael saying that Coach came out today saying Cook is going to be a huge part of the offense. I would like to believe that. However, this could be like a negotiation tactic. There are a lot of running backs who are free agents. So maybe they want to sign someone like Josh Jacobs or whoever else is a free agent. And if they're like, James Cook is only going to get 5 touches a game, that gives leverage to a free agent. Where if they're like, Cook is our guy, we don't really need you. It's all tactics. And maybe they're trying to hype up Cook to like put in work in the offseason. Like, we just don't know shit like that. So super stacking good teams like the Bills, like the Chiefs, you don't need the players to pay off in each week. It's more saying, hey, 1 week it's going to be Davis week, could be Cook week, could be Diggs week, etc. Man, the Bucks, looking at some Bucks pieces here, they could fire sale. And like, shouldn't they? Their roster is old. Like, what's the plan? Just keep Chris Godwin and Mike Evans? No, I don't think so. You got to trade those guys. Godwin, again, if the Bills do want to go like a super slot guy, which I think the wide receiver coach they hired is more of a alpha slot type offense guy. Godwin makes a lot of sense. A lot of names to like here still. Not Juju, but like Hyatt. Let's grab this Zach Charbonnet. People are like falling over themselves on Twitter for him. So we'll do a little wisdom of the crowd. We got 4 running backs, 3 wide receivers. So we're going to need to fill in some wideouts. Back to the alpha slot thing. If the Bills selected someone like Jalen Hyatt, who I think is like drawing live to be the fastest wideout in the draft, I wouldn't hate for them to do Davis and Hyatt on the outside and Diggs kind of like a Cooper Kupp role where like the offense rolls through Diggs primarily in the slot. Zach Charbonnet, like, I don't know. He could, I think rumor is like around the 3rd round. But he could also just like not see the field. This is a range where I like a lot of these names. Like I'm pretty on the record of being, I want to have heavy positions on players I feel good about, but that's only when I feel bad about other names in the draft. So like as it stands today, I want exposure to a lot of these players, so I don't want to like overexpose. These are 2 names I'm more comfortable fading. Cole Kmet could bury me, but fuck it. Drop me some of your favorite rookies, guys. Talking rookie. Don't even know if we're going to get big board drafts with Davis and Pat. Man, it seems wrong to me that Darnell Mooney's going after Juju. But I don't know. So this is the point where a lot of names have chilled out. We're going to grab I guess we'll grab DPJ first. A guy that just makes a lot of sense for half-point PPR, touchdown burner type. Kind of like a cheap Christian Watson. Sacrilegious says, Mooney has been rising lately, Juju falling. They are ships in the night. Very poetic, man. Quentin Johnson is a guy I really want to see how he performs in the combine because I'm not a college football guy, but the one game I saw with him, which was the championship, whatever, he did not look that fast to me. personally. I'm open to being very wrong on that. Maybe he is the alpha of the class, but I was not impressed. Thought he looked slow. Josh Downs, another guy the Bills could go for slot. But again, more expensive slot guys, not exactly the guys we want to be targeting with expensive cost. Jacoby Myers, just to correct that, I did not hate Jacoby Myers, the player. It was when he was on New England. Poor man's Waddle. Are you talking about Downs or Quentin Johnson? Fast E. What's Fast E? Yikes. He could be D-Hop or Treadwell. Now that is a range, my friends. I would have taken Knox for the alpha stack if he got back, but I just thought the drop off from DPJ to the wideouts was quite significant, and I can convince myself on infinite tight end names late as darts. What is the deal with Michael Thomas, dude? It's only 29. Michael Thomas would have smashed last year. I was totally out on him 2 years ago, and then I was in on him last year, and he was doing great until he got hurt. Trying to find out the most recent news. I don't know, dude. He could literally not play next year, but if he does play, 11th round Michael Thomas, sign me up. Seems that people are on different pages with Quentin Johnson. A body catcher that's 20 pounds too light for his frame. Pretty sure he runs a 4.5 plus pass. Sam says he's going to run sub 4.5 for sure. Looks like we got a bet. Tyler Boyd, I feel like, is like the safe guy I could have taken there. But Michael Thomas is swinging for upside. The type of bet you want to be making in February 28th. Kayshon Boutte, or Boot, not a name I know. Not going to just ask Davis and Pat who they like for the rookies. Want to ask them also, where they feel like their process has hit and missed in the past. So we'll see what they have to say about that. And the combine, is that like this week? Because then I'll have some more rookie people on. Yeah, that starts today. So maybe I could have timed this better, but I'm going to be in Vegas all next, or depends on how long I'm in the tournament. So that's why I wanted to have them on. But I'll have some more rookie people on. If you're watching this on replay, drop some of your favorite rookie scouts or dynasty people. Booty getting lots of hype. He will be referred to as Booty on this channel until we know. Booty. Televised stuff Thursday. Yeah, I mean, really only the shit we care about is wide receivers and running backs. Any QB to select in the last 2 rounds? I'm sure, man. Still a lot of names to like here. Let's go with Wandale, though. Again, kind of a small slot guy, but if he with which small slot guys, the problem is they just don't score touchdowns for half point PPR. However, if he's like more of like if like Saquon moves on and he's like the engine of the offense a little bit more, Kenny Galladay's out of there. Not that that matters. And we know his coach is smart, and he was looking good until he got hurt. Guys, help Sam out. He wants a QB in the last 2 rounds. Roll the dice on a rookie, Sam. Where do we think Carson Wentz goes? He could, I could totally see him backing up Pat Mahomes or something like that. These are some names I like too. Dulcich, Hodgins, Taysom Hill. Pretty crazy range of players. Fournette and Gibson, first and second round players in past years. Sean Tucker, heard a lot of people mention that name. What do you guys think of my fire thumbnail for this video? I thought it was pretty cool. Made some laser eyes. Kenny Pickett. Ham's got a lot of single stacks here. He's got Cup, Judy, and Metcalf stacked up. Bryce Young goes. I would have considered Bryce Young there, but now I will not. Man, it gets ugly quick out in these streets. I think we just got to hope that Michael Gallup was hurt last year and that these surgeries that he just underwent is going to return him to. I mean, he's still paid a lot, and he has the makeup of like a guy who scores touchdowns. Read more about those surgeries. And his contingency value is much higher than like a Rondale Moore, I think. Unquestionably had a bad season last year, but where do I read that news? Underdog's like the only place I can find it. Okay, he got some cleanups on his right knee and ankle. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good gamble, especially when we have guys like Wandale and Michael Thomas. Thanks, Chris. Michael asked, do you think the Titans would have cut Tannehill at the same time as Tara Luan, Woods, Dupree if they were moving on from him? I'm not so sure. I think they, how's it hurt them to hold on to him? One. Let's just rip Jordan Love here and hope we get the Love to Watson stack. He looked good in his limited usage there. And if he doesn't play or if he's just contingent value because Rodgers returns, then who cares? We'll just rock Solo Allen. But I'm not so sure because I saw some rumorings that they would try to trade him to a team like the Jets. And in my opinion, like Derek Carr being out there as a free agent now maybe changes that, unless Derek Carr is going to require like crazy money. But I mean, the Titans have to know that their plan is just to suck and acquire players. Yeah, he's a huge discount, but dude, he was cheap last year, and he oh, you're talking about Gallup, I think. Michael, yeah, I mean, Tannehill, I don't know, man. You can gamble on him if like all the quarterbacks are gone, but let's see where he's going. 213. Yeah, so basically the 18th round. I think it's fine if you need a second quarterback, third quarterback. Keep in mind with these 20 round formats, you can do a lot more weird stuff. You can do 4 QB, you can do 4 tight end, stuff like that. It's a fun pairing, Rashid Shaheed and Taekwon. 2 speed burners. Makes sense in a half-point PPR format. Dang, I wanted DJ Chark. Tank Bigsby, man, just an alpha name. We got 2471 here, and we need, I believe, 5 more picks. Let's just grab Shakir, who again looked good. There's some other names I would grab, but I don't want to gamble that someone else grabs Shakir. Second-year player, a little bit insurance. Mechie I was considering. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more picks. Two of those are going to be tight ends. So that gives me 3 players to work with, which I'm going to divvy up amongst running back and wideout, I believe. Could go 2783, could go 2693, something like that. Mike Gesicki a free agent now? I believe he was franchise tag last year. He is a free agent. And he's gone. Sometimes when there's names I want to see, I just show the board so I don't have to look at it to see if they get taken or not. We're going to grab Trey McBride. He won me $250,000 last year in the 555. He's a second-year player, and especially if like they start off with David Blau or whoever, like his chance to have some good games. And there could be a lot of vacated targets if D hops out of there. Yeah, I'm leaning that they would do Shakir over McKenzie. Shakir is shockingly explosive. He looked good to me. So I would rather the Bills load up on O-line. Just seems like not good O-line with Josh Allen. And of course, he can make it work. But why not make life easy on him? And what he wants to do is throw down the field. And so if you have a good O-line, it makes it easier to do that. Those routes take time, you know? So, yeah, I'd like better wide receiver talent too. Or at least a guy to like develop, but you load up, you give the Josh Allen an O-line like the Chiefs or the Eagles have, and now all of a sudden he's just like going to be hitting bomb after bomb. and his ability to do the power run will just be monstrous too. I believe Brandon Bean basically said that as well. They want O-line first. That could be why Leslie Frazier took a year off too. I was thinking is that he knows the Bills are going to invest in the offense at the expense of the defense, and it could make him like maybe he doesn't want to like look bad if that's how the Bills are winning. I don't know. We're at the point where I don't really know many names. I think he's a free agent. Let's grab Slayton. Only 26. Let's see when his contract's done. I know he's going to be on an NFL team. And I think he should be playing, you know. And he looked pretty good in some of those games. Come on now. I mean, yeah, but the point is that when you have the quarterback with the biggest arm in the NFL who actively searches for the deep bomb every game, give that guy and he's the biggest quarterback. You know, like just no brainer that Slayton is a free agent, so we'll see how that shakes out. But he looked good in his limited usage. I don't know what the deal with Sterling Shepard is. He looks great every time he's on the field, but he's just not on the field that much. You know, like him being buried on the Giants is not what we want. But we'll see how it goes. Okay. So definitely need like Josh Allen to be close to QB1. Need Stevenson, Gibbs, Cook, and Charbonnet to have decent seasons. Let's grab this Israel guy because he's fast as fuck. And who cares about the ADPs of players in this point? I'm excited for the combine to happen because then we'll actually know something about some of these guys. It will give a, you know, like the mock drafts will just be better with running backs and wideouts and whatnot. So probably going to grab one more tight end and one more RB and call it a day. Again, doing streams tomorrow at 1 Eastern with Davis and Thursday with the $2 million man, 1 p.m. And then going to be in Vegas after that. But okay, Sack, we'll sauce some teams. You know, I don't want to get sent a cease and desist. That was not my creation, saucing teams. But we'll take a look. You know, the ship chasing crowd love them, but you know we can't just do everything they do. We're unique here. But I'll tell you some teams that look like shit. I'll be honest. Yeah, I mean, I think he fits the bill too as like a home run guy. He could also be a guy who doesn't play. Again, I don't know anything about rookies at this point, but that's why we're in these streets to learn. I mean, there's a lot of names to still like at tight end. Mind me just doing some Googling. What's the deal with this Washington and Musgrave? Luke Musgrave. No. We're going with Hayden Hurst. He's a free agent. He's only 29, though. He passed first round pick. Once the combine happens for tight ends, basically, like if they don't have a high RAS profile, do not draft them. Which I don't know Hayden Hurst's RAS, but let's look it up. Shout out Kenny Black. Always got the RAS profiles. My internet's struggling right now. All right, Hayden Hurst's RAS is a 7.58. Yeah, that's not the guy we want. Darnell Washington is almost a tackle. Yeah, okay. Well, then he just needs a team with great O-line. Okay, we need a running back. Man, remember Dearness Johnson, guys? I just want to see who's out here. What do we know about Chase Brown? Pretty sure I went to high school with a Chase Brown. Chase Brown. Draft projection. 5th round? Nah, we're taking okay, screw it. We took Chase Brown. I don't know. Potentially. I would like to see them go O-line, wide receiver, O-line, or O-line, wide receiver. Well, hopefully he scores touchdowns. Yeah, there's a lot of tight ends that don't crush the combine but are on teams. So we rocked a 2693, Allen and Love, Stevenson, Gibbs, James Cook, Charbonnet, Israel, Aban Ikanda, and Chase Brown. Not sure if I love 4 RBs being rookies. However, really need like the first 4 of these names to do heavy lifting because these guys are total darts. So maybe could have dropped like Slayton and done another RB. Wide receiver, Diggs, Watson, Davis, DPJ, Michael Thomas, Wandale, Gallup, Shakir, Slayton. Plenty of gambles in this group too. Davis could get knocked down if the Bills add wide receiver. Shakir could get knocked down as well if they go for wide receiver. Gallup, Michael Thomas, Slayton are also, let's name these. Third stream, 228. Second stream, I don't remember the day though. Second stream, late Feb. Going back over the team. Plenty of questions at our wide receiver group, but we got some guys who can score touchdowns, have some big games as well. And then tight end, Pitts, McBride, Hurst. I would say there's questions with that group too. So definitely a team that doesn't have everyone locked. Not the best looking team I've drafted. We'll look at 3 random teams. Let's look at FF Rich. He's got 2693 with Burrow and Watson. Bijan, Derrick Henry, Kareem Hunt. I like Jalen Warren. I don't know much about these rookies. I mean, this group could smash, or like Derrick Henry could slow. Hunt looked awful last year. Wide receiver. No rookies. A bunch of name brand guys. I like the Davis pick. Don't love the Woods pick unless he ends up on a good team, which he could. Pretty solid with Brown and Keenan. And then maybe you don't need 3 tight ends if you're going to Andrews and Schultz. I definitely don't need 3. So that's one team. Sacrilegious saw you in the chat. We'll check you out. Rocked a 3683. Lance Howell, Anthony Richardson. If these 2 are starting, solid group. If they're not, rough. Don't know anything about Anthony Richardson. Brees Hall, Damian Pierce, Gainwell, Sean Tucker, Chuba Hubbard, and Kenny McIntosh. Like Pierce and Hall, not so sure about this other group. Sean Tucker I've heard some buzz about, but, this group could definitely be solid. Jefferson, Higgins, DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin. I like the price on Terry. Mike Evans, Elijah Moore, Alan Lazard, and Jaden Reed. No rookies, but a great group of wideouts. Don't think Jake Ferguson is like the best start personally, unless he ends up being the guy. There's just a lot of rookies to like down there, a lot of cheap guys. But Njoku and Juwan, two good ones. No soup for you. Oh, solo tight end. Let's check it out. Rocking a 3791. He's got Prescott, Kirk, and Kyler. A little bit much at QB, but fine. Eckler, Aaron, Zeke, Jamal, Donta Foreman, Damian Harris. This is like a who's who of running back past, which could totally work out, or a bunch of these guys could fall on their face. CD, Mari Cooper, Jackson Smith, Odell, John Mechie, Isaiah, Richie James, David Bell, Devontae Parker. So, like, trying to piece it together with bodies, and after the top 3, like a bunch of question marks on these guys' names. And then only 1 tight end, which I would not be doing with just Kittle. And then last one, we'll check out Langdon. This is a 2783. Fields and Jones. Don't like Jones as my QB2, but Fields solid. Taylor, Barkley, Dobbins, Algier, Kamara, Tanks, Bigsby, CEH. Too many running backs, I think, for having Barkley and Taylor start, but it's 20 rounds. Debo, Ayuk, Juju, Kayshawn Booty, Hunter Renfrow, Dubs, A-Rob, and Cedric Tillman. Bunch of questions at wide receiver. A bunch of these guys could suck. Some could be good. Not some profiles I love for half-point PPR, too. Cole Kmet, Chig Aquano, and Zach Ertz. Who knows what, like, is Ertz retiring? But 2 solid tight ends here. All right, guys, that's what I got for today. Please hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, drop a comment down below, and I'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern.